Hello there guys, it's Joey and this is a new pillar duo that was a request for the store. This is a pillar for the Holly King and a pillar for the Oak King. So together, Holly and Oak King pillar candles. In modern tradition, although it is arguably trackable back further into the mythos surrounding pagan literature. It's been a long morning. There is a balance between the two halves of the year, and there is a fight between the Holly King and the Oak King twice a year. At the winter solstice, or Yule, the Oak King conquers the Holly King and reigns until midsummer, and then at midsummer the Holly King returns to do battle with the Oak King and defeats him. Some feel it's the division of the light half and the dark half of the year. Obviously the equinoxes in particular are quite important to many different traditions. They're very important to the Celtic tradition, for example. But in modern practice, it tends to be more associated with a Wiccan-based practice. Not always, not definitively, but it's just in general terms. So that's generally what we're talking about when we're talking about the Oak King and the Holly King, as I'm sure many people are aware. So the request was for pillars, and with pillars it means a limited scope for what is actually being displayed in terms of visuals, and therefore I wanted these to be very strong in three main energies: regality, sovereignty and tradition. They have energies of male kingship with them. They actually feel very much like the Emperor card in tarot, that structure, that legality, that lawful rule, that not rigidity but strength and discipline and order. There's no chaotic energy about them. They're very strong and structured in terms of rulership, ruler energy. Each and Oak, Holly, each contains a little bit of the tree in question, very little bit blended into the wax, so you don't actually see it visually, but there is energies of that tree within each pillar, which I think is very important. It's very important to me in particular when working with tree energy, which obviously I do a lot, and in terms of Ogham energy, and so a little bit of the tree being present in both pillars is of paramount importance. Each is crowned very specifically with a gold wreath, a gold crown, and I really liked how this came together, and it presents the two next to each other, so they're obviously very different energies, but they both are kings, they both are crowned, they both are sovereigns, they both have a regality to them. In terms of going with tradition, I therefore felt that having the deep forest green and the deep red was in keeping with the tradition of these two kings. And these two colours are very frequently presented in association with the Holly King and the Oak King because they're found in nature. So you can find the green leafy trees of oak when they're at the height of their power, and when holly is in bloom, you've got your red berries. And because of that, I wanted the pillars to reflect how the trees presented themselves in nature, because it gives a traditional vibe, and with kings, tradition is often of paramount importance. That's not to say change cannot take place, and perhaps with other items, other creations, there might be a little bit more give, but pillars in particular are very, very stoic almost in their creation, and they almost create like pillars as if you were looking at a building. They're very strong, they're very stoic, they're very structured, and because of this they lend themselves well to king energy. These had a very definite feel to them and how I wanted them to look, and they came out exactly how I wanted them to look. A good depth of colour, a good golden wreath around the top. You have a little bit of the gold moving into the particular pillars, which I really, really love. You know, that sovereignty works its way through the energies of each king. That's how it came when it's going through the presentation of the two pillars. So there's definite regality and sovereignty and tradition and honouring the two kings here, which is exactly what I wanted, and I hope you like them. Many blessings.